Planeswalkers, welcome back to Another Mulligan. I'm Pigeon.
I'm L.
And today we're going to be talking about lands.
So lands can be categorized into two subcategories, one being basic, the other one non-basic. The big difference here is one comes out just in play, that would be the basic lands, hence it's basic. Then non-basic, that means that it has some sort of triggered ability or activated ability normally, and it typically comes in tapped and can represent more than one color mana.
The first thing you need to know about lands is that you can only play one per turn unless you have other cards on the field that'll specify otherwise. So now we're going to go over the different colors, the different types of basic lands and what mana they produce. Starting off, we're going to do Plains. Plains produces white mana and is represented by the sun symbol.
Next is going to be the U. That's how it's typically represented when you see it on any sort of build or anything. And that's blue. It's represented by this right here, which is this little raindrop guy. And those are islands.
Next we're going to talk about black mana. Black mana is produced by swamps, which is represented by the skull symbol here. The Misfits love swamps.
So after that is going to be red. Burn heavy, of course, and it's going to be represented by fire. And that's mountains.
Next we have green. Green is produced by forests and is represented by this tree symbol here, which looks kind of like a piece of broccoli.
Little yummy broccoli guy.
Broccoli. But that's green mana coming from a forest.
Alright, and for the sake of covering it because of recent releases and what's currently in standard or considered standard, we will talk about wastes. Not typically considered part of the basic land group, but right now is, and for all intents and purposes, this is the symbol. It's a little diamond, and it only produces a colorless mana. So it can literally be added into everything. Ladder.
Latte?
Oh, ladder.
Latte.
Oh, ladder. Next we're going to cover how you use it. Lands are not considered a spell, so when you play it, when other cards dictate you can't do this because of this spell, blah blah blah, lands are not covered in that. You can only play it during your turn though.
Also, whenever you're ready to use a land, whenever you've got that creature in your hand that you're ready to pay its mana cost for, if you remember we talked about mana cost in our last video, so when you're ready to pay that mana cost, you're going to need to obviously generate some mana. You're going to put it into your mana pool, which is a kind of imaginary place where all your mana is stored. So you take your land, like we have here, and then when you're ready to use it, tap it, which is just turning it on its side. And that way you know that it's being used, that you can't use it for the rest of your turn. Once you use a land, it doesn't untap until your untap step. And we are going to go over the parts of a turn later on as well. Once you tap that land, get that mana in your mana pool, it's time to start using mana.
That being said, that wraps up our video about land, and it looks like we're all tapped out. So until our next upkeep, we'll see you next time, Planeswalkers. Have a good evening.